Hey guys, it's Ash here with WatchMojo, and these are the top 10 most traumatic scenes in anime. For this list, we'll be looking at the most nightmarish moments in anime that are destined to scar you for life. Number 10. Hellish Atonement, Vinland Saga. Violence and redemption have always been at the heart of Thorfinn's journey, but nothing has ever visualized it quite like this. After falling into a devilish hallucination, Thorfinn discovers that he isn't in Valhalla. He's in his own personal hell, one that encompasses all the pain and bloodshed he's ever caused. Yes, that even includes Ashlad.
まだそんなところに引っかかってんのか、トルフィンよ。
It's a truly horrifying sight, not just for its ghastly imagery, but because of what it conveys about Thorfinn. After all, there's nothing more disturbing than seeing someone literally held down by their own trauma. Even though Thorfinn eventually pulls himself out of this hellscape, this scene won't soon be forgotten.
お前が殺したそいつらを連れて、本当の戦いを戦え。本当の戦士になれ。
Number 9. A killer revealed. Erased. Satoru knew better than to get in a car with a stranger, and yet no one warned him to watch out for his teacher too.
ちょっと一服だ。
The whole car ride simmers with an unnerving sense of dread until suddenly Yashiro drops the bomb. He's the killer Satoru's after.
だって、これ僕の車じゃないんだ。
The same one that, if left unchecked, will claim 4 lives, including 3 students and Satoru's own mother. This cruel twist of the knife shatters every bit of their student-mentor bond. But to make matters worse, Satoru nearly becomes Yashiro's next victim too. After such a gut-wrenching betrayal, we wouldn't blame Satoru if he couldn't trust anyone ever again. Number 8. Amateur brain surgery. Hunter x Hunter. Pogo literally hid in a pile of human remains, and that's still not the worst part of his day.
が、這いずるのが精一杯だ。しばらくはここに身を隠すしかない。
As a matter of fact, it's not even the worst thing to happen to Pogo in this episode. Once Neferpito sniffs out his location, they extract his knowledge of Nen the old-fashioned way.
ところでさ、なんで骨の下に生きた人がいるのかな?
No, not through bribery or coercion. Pito does it by performing a lobotomy. They poke and prod his brain for everything he knows, and all the while, Pokel can do nothing about it but sit there and endure it.
勝敗を分ける大きな要因になるからだ。
なるほど。
This scene single-handedly proved that the Chimera ants were not to be messed with, though it might have gotten the point across a bit too well. Number 7. Connie comes home. Attack on Titan. For the longest time, the worst way to die in Paradise was becoming a Titan's next meal. But as Connie soon discovered, there is one thing even more gruesome than being eaten by a monster, and that's becoming one.
誰かいないか。俺だ、コニーだ、帰ってきたぞ。
On principle, the revelation that Titans are former humans is enough to make anyone lose their lunch. But that's nothing compared to the moment Connie realizes the abomination in front of him is actually his mother. Or more specifically, what's left of her. In a show with more than its fair share of dark moments and crazy plot twists, this scene easily takes the mother load.
じゃあ、こいつ、どうやってここまで来たんだ?
Number 6. All That Remains of Bernie. Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket. All is fair in love and war, but that doesn't make it any easier to swallow. See, the grueling part of this mecha showdown isn't that it's a duel between friends, but that it could have been avoided. If Al had just been a bit faster announcing the planet's safety, the warring mecha pilots Bernie and Chris wouldn't have to have fought. Instead, all Al can do is sit, watch, and cry as Bernie becomes a quote-unquote pile of hamburger.
A pile of hamburger!
Oh yeah, and it's on Christmas Day, just to really rub it in. After all that, it's hard to blame Al when he goes completely catatonic with shock. Number 5. Kaoru's death. Evangelion 3.0 you cannot redo. Kaoru's role in the original Neon Genesis Evangelion is irreplaceable, and his part in the rebuild films is no different. Unfortunately for Shinji, that means he has to die. There's a few misdirects here and there, but by the time Kaoru puts on the explosive DSS collar, even Shinji should have known what was coming. Though to be fair, accepting his death doesn't make this scene any less gruesome.
君のせいじゃない。僕が第13の使徒になってしまったからね。
At the very least, it's fitting that Kaoru goes out by giving Shinji what he needs, not what he wants.
また会えるよ、シンジ君。
As a result, even though it's Kaoru who dies, it's safe to say Shinji is the one who suffers the most. Number 4. The Eclipse. Berserk. Guts has seen a lot of carnage in his day, but it's crazy to think he ever bounced back from this. Once the apostles started tearing everyone to shreds, most people would have just rolled over and accepted their fate. But somehow, Guts made it through. At least his body did. His mental state is a different story. It must have taken days just to wash all the blood off, let alone start to process the casualties, and the grief, and the betrayal. Yeah, the Eclipse left a lot for Guts to mull over, and something tells us he'll be holding that grudge for a while. Number 3. The Atomic Bomb. Barefoot Gen. Fair warning, this is not a movie for those with weak hearts or queasy stomachs. While it's a moving piece about grief and perseverance, it also depicts the 1945 bombing of Hiroshima in excruciatingly grotesque detail. The music fades out as the atomic bomb drops, and that's that. Suddenly, buildings are falling, people are dying, and there's nothing anyone can do. It's a whole other level of disturbing, particularly because it's presented through the eyes of a young boy, Gen. He may be fictional, but he represents an experience that's all too real. Trust us, Gen's harrowing journey will stay with you long after the credits roll. Number 2. Setsuko's Last Breath. Grave of the Fireflies. Tragically, fireflies aren't the only ones who get buried in this movie. When the Second World War leaves Sata and his sister without a home, he takes it upon himself to provide for them. He lies, he steals, and he works every bone in his body just for a single ration of rice. But it still isn't enough. In a moment that's nothing short of soul-crushing, Sata comes home to discover his little sister, Setsuko, has finally succumbed to malnutrition.
Hold on to this, and I'll go make us some rice gruel with eggs.
The ensuing burial scene is as profound as it is depressing. Add in the historical backdrop, and this is yet another reason why Grave of the Fireflies should come with a box of tissues. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Nina's Fate, Fullmetal Alchemist. Even the most brutal, heartless works of art usually spare the children, but not Fullmetal Alchemist.
I know, I'm gonna write a letter to my mom, too.
Instead, it intentionally let Ed and Al befriend the innocent Nina. Then, when her father turned her into a mindless chimera, it hurt even more.
Edward, my friend.
There's not a word in the dictionary capable of covering what Sho Tucker did to his daughter. The only small justice is that Ed beat the lights out of him in retribution.
That's toying, isn't it? You don't really think you're any different from me, do you, Ed?
But that's still hollow recompense for what Nina went through. It's extremely telling that even someone as ruthless as Scar decided she was better off dead. By that point, it probably came as a mercy.
You're a sin against nature, and your body is in so much pain. O merciful God who shapes us all, please return these scarred souls to your unending womb.